Hey friends, so this is my testimony. What I received in my spirit just now was don't get down on yourself for being down on yourself, right? Um so here's the thing, right? I've had a lot of trauma training throughout my life. And specifically what I'm referring to is whenever I would make a mistake or have an accident or anything like that, it would instantly be rage against the machine. It would be you're dumb, you're this, you're that, you're a bitch, you're everything but a child of God, right? And so because of that training, I had a tendency, and notice I said past tense, I had a tendency and still do, to instinctually anytime I make any mistake, or if I feel convicted of any of my behavior, my attitude, my anything, I instantly tend to go towards that same training, that negativity, that calling myself out of my name, that putting myself down and thinking that I'm the problem every single time. And almost like looking for how I'm the problem every single time. And that's based off of my trauma training, right? And I apologize. I know it's dark, but it's like, I don't know, 6 in the morning and I'm outside my gym and all those things. But anyway, um, so what I received though, because I've been intentional about changing that narrative in my mind, right? I've been intentional about anytime I make a mistake, when those thoughts come, then I'll overwrite them, right? With what God says about me, with what my father says about me, and acknowledging the fact that no, this is not something that would come from myself. I would never talk about myself in such a bad way. I would never, all of those things, and identifying the true source of those words. And that has been truly helpful to me. However, However, there are still times and occasions where I go to a negative space because I want to be completely real with you. It's easier to go to negative than it is to go to positive, especially for me, I'm using I statements because that was the environment in which I was raised. So it's more of a foreign notion to go to the positive side than it is to go to the negative side, right? Now, I say all of that to say this. If you're listening and watching at this point, maybe you have the same tendencies, right? And you're wondering, like, why do I keep doing that? And then when you start to uh, get negative about being negative, being hard on yourself about being negative as opposed to being positive, then you start going into this spiral, right? This downward spiral. Well, I'm here to tell you the spiral can go up too, right? So instead of getting down on yourself for being down on yourself, start overriding that and give yourself grace. That is so important. It's so, so, so important. Understand and know that, listen, he died on the cross for our sins and everything in between, right? So don't let that go wasted. Bring that image to your mind if you have to. Do whatever you have to do to get yourself out of that spiral and start walking upward as opposed to down, right? I know that it takes more stamina and all those things to climb up a mountain than, well, I've never climbed a mountain, but I'm imagining that it takes more to go up than it does to go down, right? However, you were built for this. You have the capacity for this. Otherwise, you wouldn't have started the journey. No one is going, well, listen. Don't stop at the halfway point talking about, well, I could still go back down. No, you can't. It is no longer an option for you. My friend, my family, my everything, right? Keep going up and do not be down on yourself for being down on yourself. Understand and know that you are a human being. You have emotions, you have feelings, and it takes a lot to get outside of the trauma training that has been the majority of your life. Give yourself the same grace that your father gives you. And I'm not talking about your daddy. I'm talking about, well, maybe your heavenly daddy, but your father above. So that's it. But you know what I say. This is my testimony. It's your life. Bye.